swore to sail away. She went up to old Lisbon, lads, for Lisbon we were bound. For Lisbon's got some gardens there with pretty young girls around. And then tee-tum, tee-tum, tee-tum. So you need to show that difference of character when everybody else comes in. Yeah, there are words to these tunes, I know. Right? Granger went around collecting all these. It's such a cool thing. So I want you to show me now. By the way, are we able to cover all of the trumpet parts? I feel like we're only getting like the first part. It should be like major chords all moving in parallel motion.
No one has said.
Okay. All right. Okay, very good. Let's start again. Let's see if we can make that change then from the opening to dum, dee, dum. I want to see how you would change the character gesturally and facially.
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
From the beginning?
Yes, please. Chances. I really love that. Now, when you're going to give that moment for the horns and trumpets, bum, 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 can we just try that, please? Those that have it, saxes have it, and one. So as you're conducting along, and that comes in, you're kind of nice and light, and then 1, 2. In other words, you can't be giving it on 1 because it's too late. Okay? So you've got to give prep, bum, 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 small prep, big prep. Yeah? Can we go, I think is it 18? Yeah. 18.
Here, wait, 18, do you want where the...
Oh, 34.
34. Okay.
Yep. 34, please. Good, you're almost there. You're giving it, but you're kind of giving it at, like, almost at the same time.
Okay.
So, bum, bum. So you need both eye contact earlier, okay, and then prep it. So can I just try that at 34? You just watch for a moment. 34, ready? So even how I gave 1 previous to the 2 was different, right? One more time. Watch carefully. So tenor's got right? You got the 2, 3 in the ending here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, right. So you have to make sure you get all the way to the resolution. Okay. Let's start the second movement. So similarly, you need to use enough space so that they feel comfortable taking the breath and coming in at the right time. Okay. So I feel like right now, your prep beats are a little on the small side, and then you expect them to play when you go, which isn't enough. Okay, as a brass player myself, I want to go, and not, right? There's not enough room. So you take a nice big breath when you play the clarinet. So you're going to go, not terribly audible, but imagine yourself playing your instrument. Sound. Okay, here we go. How did that feel, by the way, horn saxes? Better, right? Just a little bit more. When you watch the recording, you're going to go, oh, that's what I want to play for. All right? Very good. Thank you, Kate.
All right, let's stick with movement 2.
first syllable of miser that you're going toward.
Okay.
In Horkstow Grange there lived an old miser. All do know him as I've heard say. Was he and his men. Okay? You want to hear the rest of the words, don't you? Okay. So show me that line. Really make the phrase go to the third beat of the 5/4.
Okay.
Show me that. Here we go. Thank you. Good. So they had trouble seeing you because you were behind like this instead of here.
Okay.
So get out here and give them a nice visual. When you do this, you lose them.
Okay.
Okay? So come to the side for your prep. Yep. Good. Sometimes it costs you because you don't know the meters quite as well, all right? So sometimes what I will do is I will make a meter chart. So I'll just write down the meters and who comes in where and where the phrase goes, and I'll just kind of memorize that chart.
Okay.
Then that will help me when I'm actually conducting.
Okay.
Then it frees me to actually do things musically and not just worry so much about, am I going to miss a meter change? Okay, so I would also encourage you to, I just sense, but I don't know, okay, so I'm not accusing you. I sense that you're following the tune, and there's so much more stuff that goes on underneath the tune that Granger puts in there that's so interesting. Right? So there are all sorts of things like that that you want to really be aware of. Can we go the last time at the beginning, please, and then we're going to go on.
Okay.
Good, thank you. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Can you just slow this down a little bit? Rather than that, just go. Just slow it down. Suggest that you simply do a 3 in subdivision. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. And then they're not going to get confused.
Okay.
Because when you start going across your body like this on beats that feel like maybe that's not the right place, it gets a little odd for them.
Okay.
I love, so you just have to let the music just ooze out of you. There's just so much good stuff in here. So now, Could we go, please, to the trumpet solo? Let's go right at 17 now. 17. Bring it down. And 1. So when you get to the 3-2, just think about that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Right? Do a subdivided 3 with me. 1 and 2 and 3 and good. So let's go right at 25, please. Right at 25. So the meter just throws you, right? Let's go at 34. 34. Great moment. Freaked out about that la-dum moment. I put it on the beat. Dee-da-dee-da-dee-dum, be-hum.
Okay.
Solves the whole problem as opposed to going yum, be-hum, right? So you just put it on the beat.
Okay.
Let me see you start 6 with the no time that we have left. So just one more thing about the second movement. There are moments, if you had time to rehearse them, there are moments where you would want to linger at the end of the phrases. And just let the music kind of breathe a little bit. That's in the future. So here we go. Sixth movement, please. I just want to see you start this thing because it's a little bit tricky. Thank you. Good. Are you going to conduct it in 3?
No, I'm
No.
actually gonna.
Okay. Let's see if you can conduct it in 1. So you saw me work with Katie, and I think what you want to do here is one of 2 things. If I'm really trustful of the group, here's what I would do. I just give. Oh yeah. Okay. And if I'm less trustful, I'm going to do this. Okay, but there is an impulse of will that you have to have as a conductor when you're going to start this thing, because you give this and you're just praying that they start.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Because we don't make any sound, but we will look awfully silly if they don't come in. So sometimes it's just small, up, bing, bum, bum, bing. He says sturdily, right? 'Twas down in the valley a fair maid did dwell. So you got to have that shum dum ding dum 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 ding. So you got to show it that right from the fret beat. Yep, yep, you're good. You're doing good. So one. Yep, see, already they did it. Good. Thank you. Now do it without all of this.
Okay.
Okay, you're looking like you're at a bird feeder. There you go. Yes, one more time. Do that again, please. Good. Yes. Yes.
Hey, Flukes, did somebody have the oboe part?
I do.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
All right, 4 and 5. Before we start 4, I just want to make it clear I'm going to be doing a dead gesture through the air, and then as I hit 1, that is beat 1 of the first measure. Cool? That only applies to clarinets. I'm going to be doing like a dead gesture, and then I'll hit beat 1, and that's beat 1 of the first measure.
I don't think Kayla quite understood.
Sure. Yeah. Do you understand how it works? Need me to explain?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's do that again from the beginning. I'm going to take a little bit of time between the pickups and taking the cap. Just a little bit of time. Very beginning again.
All right, let's do the free time of 5 at least.
Absolutely.
Start 5, I'll tell you when we're going to start.
You got it.
this is another one of those moments where Percy Granger's finale, he didn't know how to work it yet. So, so instead of doing a pickup, it's conductor solo, 1, 2, ba-dum, da-dee, second bar. Okay? So, could I just ask you, just to humor me, could you take the opening and just play it a little bit slower, a little maybe poco sprightly? And let's see if we can get some more style happening, because what you're doing gesturally really is very attractive and clear, I think.
Yeah.
So let's just try this a little bit slower and see what we can get from the opening. Thank you. Might I suggest this? So rather than going up here and going 1, 2, just raise the tip and go tip, 2, bum, bum. Tip, 2, bum, bum, da-dee-da. Then you don't have to go use so much space with the forearm, right? You're just going to use the tip. You drop 2, bum, bum. So again, it's kind of this moment where we kind of prep, and it's like, clarinet, so you ready? And we go 1, 2, ba-dum, da-dee-da. Just look right at them. Here we go. So tip high. There you go. Good. Thank you. Now, can you make that first, so that they don't misconstrue it? Don't make 1 and 2 the same.
Sure.
So make 1 softer, like so. 2. 2. So if 1 were little and 2 were big, that's kind of what we're after. Sure. Now, easier to follow, right? Thank you. So what happened there?
They didn't enter.
Who's they?
The flutes.
The flutes didn't enter. Okay, why do you think that is?
I wasn't clear, probably.
No, I think that they're still counting wrong because they don't understand that 1, 2, ba-dum, ba-da, second bar rest. They're going da-dum, da-da, 1, and then they're already a bar behind. Okay, so flutes, 1, 2, ba-dum, da-da, 2, 3. Okay, that should be better. Good. So, did you like how we started? It's easier to follow and more musical, yes? Okay, so see if you can repeat that.
Sure.
Let's do it one more time from the top. Got the count, flutes. So when the solo's playing, who are you conducting? Where is your attention?
I'm splitting my attention right now between the clarinets and what's going on over here.
Okay.
I'm not
He's
loud
going to
enough
be
for
fine.
my first
Yeah, well, you can certainly do that, but he's going to be fine. But they need your attention, and they need your ears. Yeah. He's going to play. He got the easy part. Okay. Flutes, bravo. Counting, it's a good thing. Hornists, not so bravo. Right? You're either playing too softly or you're playing not confidently enough. Yeah. Good. Let's start right at 17 for lack of a better place. And I want you to just focus your attention here. Sure. And you just play out. That'll make you mad. tika da 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 dee da dee da 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 dee da da da. Then so if you go a little bit slower, then the subdivision makes more sense here. If you're going fast, then it's got to be you would probably only subdivide the last beat. Yeah? Good. Let's go to 5. Do we have any time?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay, so let's go pick up to 14. Thank you. Good.
Altos, tenor, sax, and horns.
Yeah, so here's something I just want to. How does the music go at this point?
It's pocket.
Tick, da, 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 right? But you're conducting.
Too slowly.
Well, if I saw that, I would play da 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 instead of tick da, tick da. Just a little tiny bit of wrist. Yeah, 3, 4, tick da, da da. Yeah. Okay, so you got to give that kind of a prep beat. And this is the moment too where a lot of us go, do we give a double prep or do we give a single prep? Right? So we go off, and again, if I've been with the group for a while and I trust them, off, beep, up. If I haven't been with them for a while and it's the first rehearsal, I might go off, beep, up. Otherwise, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay, the infamous Forrest Gump. Okay, so go pick up to 14. You choose.
Let's do double prep.
Yes, thank you for that. Yeah, you actually conducted that exactly the way that needs to go. I imagine we're out of time now, but yeah, well done.
Yeah.
Can somebody?
dum 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 team bum bum beam triplet one.
Okay.
Right? And I would do those in 3. So let's just do the opening with the brass here, up to 2.
All right.
Okay? Try to make that at least a relationship. It's still free time,
Yeah.
so you don't have to do it like everybody else does. But I think you still need to adhere to a relationship between the quarters and the triplets.
All right.
Go. Was there a difference?
No. Okay.
Okay, let me just show you, and I'm going to take some chances. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. Okay, go.
Okay.
I mean, he says free time for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So the free time is there because he's out with his wax cylinder recording device collecting folk songs from folk singers that don't know a meter change from a key signature. So they're just singing, right? And he wants to give us that same kind of freedom here.
All right.
Bravo, Ben. Well done. Now, the other thing that I would just suggest to you is every time you cut off, you do this. Okay? Were you a drum major at one point in your career?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. And we do a lot of that outside because we have to, right?
Yeah.
When I conduct our alumni band with the OSU marching band and there are 700 musicians on the field, believe me, I'm doing this, okay? But with a 50-piece wind ensemble, not necessary.
Yeah.
So you get to those moments where you need cutoffs. I would suggest one hand.
Okay.
You can do it with the baton, D. You can do it with the left hand, D. Just depends,
Okay.
all right? And you can get fancy too, but when I taught undergraduate conducting years ago, I said there are 4 ways you can do cutoffs. You can do right hand downbeat, right hand counterclockwise, left hand downbeat, left hand clockwise. 4 ways to cut off, and all of them work. Okay? So I would just suggest trying to go to a one-handed cutoff. I think it won't be quite so obvious that you were a drum major previously. Not that there's anything wrong with it. So now, on we go to 2. This is an interesting moment, isn't it? La dee da dee da dee da da dee.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So what's wrong with the way the trumpet player is doing it? Give him some instruction.
Yeah, in the 1.5/4 measure, can you make sure you're not rushing through those eighth notes? You're making them more like really like triplety, like it's a quarter note triplet rather than da 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 da.
Right. So the eighth notes remain the same.
Yes.
What is 1.5/4 equated to, like in 21st century parlance? 3/8.
Yep.
Exactly. But Granger is different. You know, he's always trying new stuff. 1.5/4 it is. So la dee dee da dee da dee da da da.
Yeah.
Go ahead. it's in the midst of a slow off. So don't be in a hurry to cut that off.
Okay.
But I think that's the right way to do it, to give the strong beat 3 there. That works great. Then, what about the tempo pick up to 14? The tempo changes, yes?
Yes.
Okay. But what you're showing is really not much of a tempo change. So click it off for me. How do you want it to go at 14? Deep, dup, dup, da, dum, dum, dup. That's the tempo?
Slow.
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, slow.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So it says lively and playful, right?
Yes.
So music is always music is a communicative art. So if he's telling us how it should go and we're not doing that, that's on us.
Yeah.
So beep, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, beep, ba-dum, bum. So it's so easy for us as young conductors. At least when I was a very young conductor, I just hung on for dear life to the melody, because there are a lot of parts on this score, and if I knew the melody, at least I wouldn't get lost and I wouldn't be embarrassed, right? Unfortunately, there are a lot of other parts that we need to pay attention to. So what I'm suggesting is right? None of that is the melody, okay? But they need you. And this is what we're constantly having to try to figure out as conductors. Who needs me? Where can I help? And where can I just monitor, right? So sometimes just conducting along isn't a great thing. Sometimes we just need to encourage. This is a spot where they need you to give some cues and to give it in the right kind of style. So can we go at 25 one more time, just to contextualize as we're getting into this spot, 34. All right, and then just see if you can conduct some of those inner parts. Suddenly it's like, oh, I have an important part. Yep. You play differently, right? When the conductor's going, beat up, beat up, beat up. Oh my gosh, he's paying attention to me. Yeah. Trombones, yeah, same thing. Little encouragement. Strauss told us never to encourage the trombones, but
definitely not these.
but that's well done. Very well done. And then during the canon, the oboe and soprano saxophone, that's a moment where typically you can just kind of monitor, and then you're just kind of encouraging and shaping little tiny bits of that. Okay? Good. We won't get into the ending, but I would encourage you to take a good look at the last two chords, because tuning those chords is a challenge. They're quite thick, but if you break out some of the major chords within them and you get it justified, it works so much better. Okay, then, okay, since I worked with the other conductors early on in Lord Melbourne, let's go to some of the like the last half of the movement. Your score is laid out differently than mine.
Maybe 24, or maybe where the
Oh, definitely I want to get to that. So coming through this moment after 28, right before 34, in fact, the latin da di da da dum 2 3 yantin dun dum dum da 1 2 3 1 and 2. Yeah, it seems to take forever, right? That's why Dr. Fennell does the 3-4 as a 3-8. I don't suggest that, but that's what he does. So if you listen to it, yeah, right? You listen to that, and he just kind of rushes right through that 3-4 and gets to the end. Probably not what Granger would have intended. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. Let's go pick up to 28. So why are you subdividing through the 3-4?
Because that helps make it last longer, I guess.
I think you can count and not have to subdivide So there's nothing that you're conducting except sustain. So to me, la tin ta ti tam ti tam, 2, 3, off and 2. I like to show 2 so everybody knows where we are. Off and 2. So I would suggest la tin ta ti tam the 1, 2. You should think 1 and 2 and 3 and, but don't conduct it. Can we go right at that moment? One measure before 34. The 4/8 here is in 4. Lum tim tum tim tum tum tum. And 2. Good. Thank you. Good. Lovely. That's nice conducting. Now at this moment, to me, again, this is just me talking now. At this moment, this has to feel a lot more and less, right? Because we're worried about the meters. We need to worry less about the meters, and then also we have the little fast written, right? And that's where we move from a D minor 9 to a D major 9. Okay, so that means that the horn 1 is moving to C sharp, if I'm remembering correctly, as is one of the saxophones should be moving to that note. Okay, so 1 and a 2. He says fast. You just rush that